Documentation is the cornerstone of an effective adoption program. This is where the rubber meets the road, where we take a concept and a framework and we apply content to actually drive behavior for our end audience. Now, when you're designing documentation, we do have a couple of guides here to keep you on track. If you want a refresher on any kind of adult learning principles and methodologies, we have a separate set of guides here under adult learning methodology that basically breaks down, again, a refresher on the learner adoption journey. So thinking about how we build content based on where a learner is in progression. Is this the first time they're seeing content? Is this something they're seeing every day? They just need a refresher on? Are they somewhere in the middle? We need to capture and basically have content available based on where each employee is in that journey. And we want to cater our documentation around those critical stages of the adoption journey. The second component we have in here is designing for end users. And this is really all about what we call the WIFIM process. You can get a refresher and a deep dive here. This is building things based on end user expectations and jobs to be done. So what's in it for them? Why should they care? What this looks like? And we have to break down some guides on how to get the most out of this. So definitely reference those as you're thinking about documentation. In terms of the step-by-step process for tactically doing this, we first start with our outcomes again. So we take the outcomes that we had from our objective session, from our leaders. For each of those outcomes, we want to think about that behavior change. We use this little cheat sheet that you have here. So outcome, behavior change, why is it impactful for the business? What's the KPI or measurement we're looking at? And again, you're taking these from what we grabbed in objectives, the measurement, and then ultimately any other notes or observations you have on this. So once we have the outcomes themselves, we have them broken down by their behaviors, and we make sure we have a clear understanding of that. And you have a little template guide here too. This is a CSV if you wanted to use this to document. The next step is to actually list out the processes for each of the outcomes. And we have another little cheat sheet here for you too, again, where you take the outcome and you say, let's say, improve forecast accuracy, which is pretty broad. What are the individual processes and workflows that we need to document to make sure we build up and fix this problem or serve this outcome? Right? So it might be adding an opportunity, logging an opportunity, deal notes, so on and so forth. Who owns this process? Who owns the knowledge? Basically, who is the subject matter expert on this? And these tend to be different. So it might be enablement who owns the process, or revenue operations who owns the process, but maybe somebody in finance or somebody in deal ops owns the knowledge. And then again, we have some notes and observations here, really is call outs for when we're doing documentation, what to do about that. Once we get that together, we then can actually begin documenting our processes. So we know what our outcome is. We know what the individual processes are that we need to document. And this section here shows you how to document. We have best practices in here. It really shows you what it looks like to build good documentation and how to grab those processes in a real and effective way.